go. All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Ivy Madness. We're excited to be joined by the Princeton Tigers. Joining me is Ivy League Coach of the Year, Mitch Henderson, along with Player of the Year, Caden Pierce, Zach Martini, and Matt Alacco. We'll start with some opening comments from Coach and then move into questions from the media. If you have a question, please raise your hand, and we'll bring a microphone over to you. Please state your name and affiliation prior to asking your question. All right, Coach, welcome to Ivy Madness. We'll turn it over to you.
A pleasure to be here and representing Princeton and what is a really terrific team to be able to be associated with. Love being in New York City. Grew up kind of watching the Big East tournament up here, so excited to be a part of it, and we're ready to get after it tomorrow.
All right, questions?
Rob Brown, Ivy Hoops Online. Coach, another amazing year, but now you have to face a 4 seed that's very hot. Is there any similarity to 2017?
No, because we were playing Penn at Penn. But yes, in the sense that, every year if you're the 1 seed, you're playing somebody who earned their way into the tournament. So, but we know exactly what we're in for here. So we have the whoever comes out and gets the automatic bid is going to has really earned it.
What's the main thing that you have to control for tomorrow, and what's the biggest challenge when you play Brown?
I think first is just understand that it's emotional, and so we have a group that's been through a lot together. So we understand it's basketball at the end of the day, and we should have some fun playing the game. Brown's really a terrific rebounding team, and I think we have to take care of the ball, and we'll do a good job of that. We've been there all season, and if we're not doing a good job, we'll figure it out over time.
Brett Tomlinson, Princeton Alumni Weekly. This is for the players. The tournament's sort of set up like a back-to-back, an Ivy weekend. In what ways is it similar, and in what ways is it different?
It's very similar to what we've done all year. It's a quick turnaround. You got about 24 hours to prepare for the next game. So obviously we got to take care of business in the first one. We're not overlooking anything. So as always, we're just going to focus on the task at hand, and then if we play well enough to move on, then we'll deal with our next opponent when that time comes.
And Coach, did you adjust the schedule during the week for the 11 o'clock start?
Yeah, we're on spring break at Princeton, so we were able to practice a little bit earlier and try to get our clocks going. But these guys are 18 to 22 years old. They get up and play. They've been doing that their whole life.
Frick Weber, ivyleague.com. You guys are mentioned on almost every bracket show. What's it like, kind of general thoughts on the bubble team and kind of like where you guys are right now?
We feel like we can compete with and beat anybody in the country, and our focus right now is the tournament. But we don't. I'm well aware of our resume, and we've called every single school we can possibly call to try to play in the Northeast and all over the country, high majors included. We went on the road and played St. Joe's. That's not a return game. We went on the road and played Duquesne. Both those teams are in the A-10 semifinals, and won. We don't have any quad one wins, but we're a quad one team, so that's nice. I don't know. I feel really strongly, and so do these guys, about playing next week, and I don't imagine anybody would want to play us. We feel really good about that. But again, you asked me a specific question, so I'm just trying to give you an answer that I'm thinking about it. I have a lot of thoughts on that, but most importantly, this is a group that's earned to be. These guys have gotten us to this point. And really thankful to them, and our university is very thankful to them to be in this conversation.
Actually, a question for the players. What's it like playing in a gym like this? That's loud, a little bit kind of tighter? I mean, do you guys love that? Feed off the fans? Good.
I mean, I think I can speak for all of us. We all enjoy it. It kind of reminds us of high school a little closer quarters. It's a shooter's gym for sure. And obviously it's going to be super loud, hopefully a great environment, and, hopefully we knock down some shots and make some big plays.
Caden, can you speak to how it felt being named Player of the Year?
I mean, obviously, incredibly grateful and thankful for the recognition and the award. I like to think of it as a team award. It wouldn't be possible without these guys up here, and as well as coach and the staff. My teammates have been feeding me all year, helping me when I've gone through rough patches, and so without them, it wouldn't be possible. But we're here for a much bigger goal and hope to achieve that.
And for any of the players, as Coach said, you're a quad one team, especially, after you lost so many important pieces from last year. Do you guys feel like you met expectations or exceeded expectations this year?
I think we are right where our feet are. Last year we had a lot of people graduate, like you said, but we also had a lot of people returning from this year's team, and there was a great belief that what we did last year could carry over into this year. And we started that November 6th with a big win against a high major team, and we fed off that since then. So I don't think we're exceeding expectations. I think we are who we are, and we're in a good spot.
And Coach, could you talk about Xavier's growth this year?
Yeah, I think he averaged 4 points a game a year ago. He was leading the league in scoring for most of the season. I think he's one of the most exciting players to watch in college basketball and to coach. We have a lot of different pieces, but his particular contribution to the team is quite unique. He's just a really tough kid to cover. I don't say, a young man. And he's improving just like the rest of the team. He has a spirit of improvement and willingness to get better, and that comes from the guys that's seated here, but also from previous generations. Tosan, all the way up until the end of last season, was like, yeah, I can get better at that. And I think Xavier's taken that on too, which I'm really happy about.
Jesse Doherty with the Washington Post. First, Keaton, you said it's a shooter's gym. Could you just explain to people who don't really know how to shoot a basketball why that's the case?
I feel like most players have grown up playing in gyms like this, smaller quarters. We're lucky at Jadwin, we kind of have a very large gym, and, the depth perception can be tricky at times, especially if you're not used to shooting there. But yeah, like I said, at least myself, I grew up in a gym similar dimensions to this, and, close-knit quarters. So you feel comfortable and hopefully make a lot of shots there.
Thanks. And Mitch, this doesn't apply to this year's tournament, but there's a lot of talk right now of expansion of the bracket. I know that affects different conferences in different ways, so just do you kind of general thoughts on potentially the field getting bigger and what that could mean for the Ivy League and Princeton?
I think that the tournament to me is just almost perfect, and I really like what happened last year in the tournament. But the beauty of playing against really good teams on a neutral site is never going to be lost. And I don't know. I like what Coach K said yesterday in his quotes. Like, let's not mess this up. I think it's great. And expansion's nice. You're looking at in college basketball, you're often judged by whether or not you make the NCAA tournament. And I think maybe a very small percentage, I want to say 16 to 18% of college basketball teams make it. And that's harsh judgment in terms of if you look at playoffs overall. So more opportunities, but I'm not sure those opportunities would go to us. So I like where we are. I hope the opportunity continues to exist for teams like ours. And look, we're not the little guys anymore. This is a totally different narrative. This is look where we are. We're 13th in the country in RPI and top 50 net ranking, and we've been there for most of the season. So I like our chances.
And with what happened at Dartmouth a couple weeks ago with the union vote, how much have you maybe discussed that with your team and players, if they've been curious at all about maybe what that is, or kind of how that could affect you guys down the line?
We honestly haven't talked about it. I think just mostly because we've been really focused on other things, midterms, and then trying to get to this point. But really not much to say. I mean, we understand it, but no comment really.
And then just for the players, I know those guys said they might want to reach out to players across the league, and I know your coach just said you guys haven't discussed it much, but is there curiosity just to do some research or maybe talk to those kids over at Dartmouth? I shouldn't say kids. Talk to those guys over at Dartmouth. I don't know. I don't know if anyone wants to answer that, but just has there been any sort of reach out or research on your guys' part?
I just want to win tomorrow.
Understood.
Mitch, Ben Rabb with the Yale Daily News. Could you speak to the strength of the Ivy field as a whole this year? Do you think there are multiple teams in this league worthy of playing in March Madness?
I think the league's really strong, and I think your top 4 teams are here, and everybody's capable of winning games. In particular, when you think about a neutral site game where you're getting great, officials, and everybody's hyped up for the moment. I mean, we know we can do damage and next week. So I'm sure the other teams feel the same way. And but look at the talent. Look at the league. I mean, it's just so strong, and there's continuity, which is rare and more rare. Look at the top ranked teams in the country: Houston, Purdue, UConn. These are teams with continuity, and the entire league has it. So that's team basketball. I don't know if you're paying attention. Like no one would want to see us in a tournament.
Hi, Levick Kappas from Sportgo. How has the Ivy League Madness over the past, now it's like 6 or 7 years into the tournament, how has that changed how you go about the regular season, and how has it changed how you approach sort of the transition from the regular season to the larger March Madness tournament?
I played in the league when the champ got the automatic bid. So the change is everybody's alive at all times. So you could play a game in the middle of February, and the team that you're up against is eliminated mathematically from potentially playing. And look, I'm not saying, it's just a really different environment because it's do or die in most every single game you're playing. That said, we went into last weekend with, the opportunity to clinch an outright bid, and that's stayed the same for us. That's always been the priority, is to win the league and not to share.
And then one more question, similar to his about the Dartmouth situation. Obviously, making it to March Madness has come with a lot of publicity. Have you talked in the locker room at all, this for both coach and the players, about potential publicity opportunities, NIL opportunities that might come with the tournament?
I'm totally not quite understanding the question. Just like what?
Just the potential endorsement opportunities or potential for larger social media follower growth, like things that can come with playing in March Madness.
Yeah, I mean, let's go. These guys have earned it, and and what better examples of student athletes are there out there? And we feel like some of our guys are on Lou Henson watch lists and best players in the country. We feel like we put our guys up against anybody, and I feel like there's opportunities for them that I wouldn't be shocked if they get lots of opportunities coming their way.
And then for the players, have you thought about certain opportunities that you're looking to pursue? Has that been conversations you've had with your teammates?
I wouldn't say there's been a lot of conversation. Of course, our goal is always just to focus on winning games, but we're open to any opportunities, so anyone can reach out.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.